Hey folks, Adam McIntosh here, and I'm coming to you with the second episode of my Photo Expo series, where I dive into some of my older work and just go through some of the stories and things that I learned through those pieces. They're not necessarily my favorite photos or my best photos, but they are photos with a story, and I want to share that with you guys. Now, we got a new lighting setup. In the first episode, I used the window light, and the weather in Finland, where I'm living right now, is just really not consistent, other than consistently shit. So I hope you guys like the new setup. It also serves two purposes. This summer, I have construction going on in my building. They're actually going to cover my window for the entire summer, as if we don't see the sun enough in Finland. And you might have the pleasure of hearing that construction somewhere throughout the episode, and if you do, then I apologize. However, without further ado, let's roll today's photo. Now, I am already kind of cheating. We're only 2 episodes in and I'm cheating already, because today's episode isn't entirely just about this one photo. It's actually kind of about all the photos that I took in my visit to China early last year. This particular photo was shot in Beijing. My little brother is living there, and so I took the chance to go visit him, and we had some other friends join us as well, which was amazing. And it was just like an incredible trip. Obviously, you know, seeing my friends and my brother was maximum priority, and I was super excited to see them. And the kind of, you know, next thing on the list was photography, because obviously you can imagine, if you haven't been there, that the photography the opportunities are amazing. And this is what I had in my head, and I knew that that would be the case. I had never actually been to Asia before, so I was super excited. Now, I've been living in Helsinki for the past few years, and Helsinki is quite a sort of like a sleepy city. The opportunities for things like street photography are quite the challenge, in my opinion, because those opportunities, they don't present themselves very often. And for me, that's the challenge. That's a big part of what I enjoy about shooting street photography in Helsinki. And Beijing was the complete opposite for me. It was like I wanted to shoot everything all the time. Obviously, my priority was catching up with my friends and my family, so I didn't maybe entirely kind of get in that headspace of just being out and shooting and working the way that I like to work when I shoot street, which is just be in my own head and try to get into that flow state. But I guess what I wasn't prepared for was how overwhelming all of these opportunities to shoot photos would be. Because I was coming from a place where I would have to really dig to find these scenarios that I want to shoot out on the street. And now I'm in a place where I want to shoot everything. So I guess that's kind of the lesson in the story for today. Now, I chose this image because, in a way, symbolically, here's a guy who's surrounded by images, he's surrounded by information, and he's locked right in the middle. And I kind of imagine that's kind of like me, how I felt when I was exploring China. Because what was sort of going through my head at the time was that if I wanted to shoot everything, does it all have value? And if I'm shooting everything, do I have an angle? So that was kind of the important lesson for me that I learned from that trip and taking these images, was that you know, as I said earlier, I was confident with the camera. I was bringing the gear that I would think I would need, and I was still overwhelmed and unprepared in some way. There are things you can't necessarily be prepared for, or you can if you take the necessary steps. Like, if it's possible, I would have scouted the location, for example, which, you know, obviously in this circumstance is kind of unrealistic. Though now I kind of feel like I have. Like, my second trip to China now, which I'm hopefully planning to be there in the next year, I kind of know what to expect a little bit more. I know what I want to go back and shoot, and I know what kind of angles I want to take. So I guess that's about it. Expecting things that, you know, are outside the practical. You can bring your extra batteries and memory cards. Everybody knows that kind of stuff. But figuring out as much information as you can possibly gather before you go and shoot at a location is going to help you get the images that you want, and it's going to help you get images that you're happy with. As a complete side note, this photo actually featured in my first photography exhibition, which only ended just a couple of months ago, and it was really successful. I was super happy with how everything turned out. Thanks for watching. That's about it. If you guys want to see this photo for longer than sort of flashes up on the screen, you can follow my personal Instagram, which is @macintosh.adam. I'll have links down to that. down below. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments and I'll get to every single one of those. If you really want to help me and support me, the like and subscribe button go a long way. That really helps me out. If you subscribe, you'll obviously see more of these videos in the future. I'm doing my best to keep them consistent. The construction is the only thing that might permit that, but I should have them out fairly consistently, and I'm looking forward to putting more out to you guys. You guys take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.